millions of people around the world have rolled out their yoga mats to celebrate a tradition that was once the preserve of Hindu holy men, but is now a worldwide phenomenon. How did it conquer the world and what's changed? Do you associate yoga to Hinduism?
Okay. How can it not conquer the world? How can it not become? Because it works. Whatever works, people have enough sense to adopt it, to make it happen. So it's coming to Baba Ramdev brought it to our bedrooms.
Yeah.
He did it in such a big way. Everybody in the garden, everybody was teaching everybody yoga. You go, your uncle, aunt, chacha, chachi, everybody's teaching you yoga there. Everybody's teaching you Kapalabhati. To the West, I think it came largely through the work of Guruji Iyengar, Patabi Joyce and Indra Devi. All three of them were students of Krishnamacharya, and he is really somebody who did a lot of work in reviving yoga. So Patabi Joyce is Guruji Patabi Joyce is the one who established the Ashtanga Vinyasa sequence system. Ashtanga Vinyasa is a sequence. Ashtanga Yoga is the discipline of yoga. They are two different things. People tend to confuse. They should not confuse. Ashtanga Vinyasa is a sequence of asanas. So, in the early 1900s, there was people began to take note, but in the Western countries, they used to think yoga is very weird. Somebody standing upside down, imagine breathing like this, doing Kapalabhati. What's wrong with you? Or doing Kaka Kriya, making funny noises, Simha Kriya. People think you're crazy. So people actually thought that you were weird, very weird. I remember my teacher, John Scott, with who I studied Ashtanga first, Ashtanga Vinyasa. He used to say that when I was first looking for a modality, he was looking at martial arts. And then he got into Ashtanga Vinyasa. He said yoga was considered too alternative. It's too alternative in the West. But people began to take notice of Patabi Joyce, Iyengar, and these people were invited to America, to Europe, to hold demonstrations. And that is how it spread. So Guruji Patabi Joyce's Ashtanga Vinyasa sequence is a very energizing, dynamic sequence. It purifies the body, it purifies the mind, and people who have very fit bodies can really take that on. Guruji Iyengar taught the more restorative, therapeutic kind of practices. People began to heal people with diabetes, people who had women who were going through all kinds of menstrual issues, etc. So all these practices are addressed very nicely in the Iyengar system. They work with props, they modify the asanas to help each individual. Indra Devi was the first woman who was taught by Krishnamacharya. In fact, Krishnamacharya refused to teach her, saying, I don't teach women. She was very persistent. And she trained with him, and she brought yoga. She had a center in California, and she positioned yoga initially as an exercise and a stress relief format to engage with this community here. And that is how it spread. And as far as yoga being Hindu, no, I do not think yoga is Hindu. If you come to my class, Monica, and I tell you, Monica, raise your arm like this, breathe like this, what is Hindu about it? Is it something that is threatening your faith? No. See, I really like what Sadhguru said. When Sadhguru was invited, he represented India at United Nations for the International Yoga Day, for the first International Yoga Day. And he said that if yoga is Hindu, then gravity must be Christian. Because, Newton belonged to a Christian culture. Does it make gravity Christian? So Hindu is not a religious identity. Hindu is actually a geographical and cultural identity. It refers to the people who lived in the land between Himalayas and the Indus River, River Sindhu. And these people were called Hindu. Look at us, Monica. We all call ourselves Hindu. We don't have a single belief system. In the sense, there is myriad belief systems. Okay, there are millions of gods. Not only millions of gods, you can worship a tree, you can worship a cow. So it's a phenomenon. It's a certain kind of people who are living. So no, it is. Please, we should not do this. It's a technology. Yoga is a technology. It works for anybody who has a human body and who can breathe. For me, the criteria is simply, if you can breathe, you can practice yoga.
Beautifully said. Okay, let's move on to our